So I called him and we just hit it off. And then eventually he was like, because at the time I was living in Dallas. Okay. And so he was like, you know what? I really feel like I'm supposed to be in Dallas. Come through. We got plenty of room out here. Like I own the city. But I was like, come on. And so what he was doing, I loved what he was doing. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna help you out. Yeah. So it started from just a friendship and, camaraderie to this is your husband, like this is your spouse. Yeah. And it was difficult because we didn't have nothing. Yeah. He sold me on a dream. Let me just be clear. Yeah. He sold me on a dream because he had a Geo Metro that used to
overheat and break down and everything.
So you was
Science says only 8% of people achieve their goals. What makes some people successful and others stay stagnant? How do we identify the qualities and skills necessary to elevate our lives? Well, that's what I want to talk about. That's what my energy is all about. My goal is to help inspire people to be their best selves. These conversations will help people identify their best qualities, bring them out, and understand how to develop plans to achieve their goals. I'm Kayla B, and welcome to the Big Boss Energy Podcast. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Kayla B, and we're back with another episode of Big Boss Energy. And today I have two bosses, not one, but two bosses in the building. And why this episode is really, really special is because right now in the US, from only 0.5 to 2% of people who are in the space of starting a tech startup, more specifically a SaaS startup, are getting funding. And today we have two amazing guests who have been able to get a $30 million valuation on their software company, Vonza. And I think it is just so amazing that they have been able to do this. So let's just go ahead and give our bosses a round of applause and welcome them into the studio. We have Dr. Faith and Dr. Uyi Abraham. So nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for stopping by the Big Boss Energy Podcast. Yes. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this episode today because you guys are doing something really, really groundbreaking in this space. So I want everybody to kind of like learn about Vonza, but more specifically kind of learn about the story behind how you guys got here today. So absolutely. I'd love for us to dive into that today. And I just want to kind of start out. So Dr. E, you got a story, right? Yeah. So we want to know the details on, how did you come to America? One, what was that journey like for you? And what motivated you to really step into this space? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure being here. We've been wanting to be on your show for a while, so we're glad to be here. Yeah, so I'm Uyi Abraham. So I was born and raised in Nigeria. So I came to America a few years ago with only $100 and a suitcase of clothes. So I come initially to become a medical doctor. So that was my goal, that was a dream. So I came here, started doing my classes and stuff. But then halfway through, I found that, the reason I really wanted to be a medical doctor was not because that was my life purpose. That was not really what God wanted me to do. But I was just living the dreams of my parents and my family and people like that. In Africa, if your child is not a doctor, a nurse, an engineer, or a lawyer, they are considered a failure. So there's that societal pressure.
Wait, what?
Nigeria especially, so you have to be a doctor to kind of make everybody proud. So, but then I just found out that was not what God wanted me to do, but was really just to do ministry and entrepreneurship, So that's how I kind of switched everything from trying to be a doctor to going through some tough time and being homeless and meeting my wife, and then that's where everything started. So from $100 to now we do 8 figures in our business today.
Awesome. So how old were you when this transition or journey started, when you left Nigeria to come here?
Yeah, about 18, 19.
Okay, so you were going to university at that time.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah. So I transferred over years, started taking classes in Houston, but then I just started falling out of love with medicine. I just wanted to just do business, entrepreneurship, and also do ministry also. Yeah, it was website.
Do you remember
design.
your birthday? Okay, yeah.
Website design. A friend of mine on my birthday gave me a website template as a gift, and then I started learning how to design websites. And from websites, one business to the other to now, within a tech company today.
Awesome. So you got started, you kind of was a doctor, but your niche and your expertise or something that you fell into was more tech related. So that's really cool. So did you meet your beautiful wife where you moved to Houston, I guess? Or where'd you guys meet? I'd love to learn that story
Yeah,
too.
we met in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, we met through our mom, and we just got
Through your mom?
Yeah.
Through my mom.
So your mom set it up?
Girl, my mom was
Wait,
like,
I need the tea.
she met him.
Okay.
So they had already, you know, were kind of, because it's a ministry related friendship.
Okay.
And then she was like, take his number. His name is Uyi. You need godly friends in your life. So what am I, a heathen? Like, what does that mean? Like, what? So I was like, okay, lady, you know, like, okay, ma. So I called him and we just hit it off. And then eventually he was like, because at the time I was living in Dallas. Okay. And so he was like, you know what? I really feel like I'm supposed to be in Dallas. Come through. We got plenty of room out here. Like I own the city. But I was like, come on. And so what he was doing, I loved what he was doing. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna help you out. Yeah. So it started from just a friendship and, you know, camaraderie to this is your husband, like this is your spouse. Yeah. And it was difficult because we didn't have nothing. Yeah. He sold me on a dream. Let me just be clear. Yeah. He sold me on a dream because he had a Geo Metro that used to
overheat and break down and everything.
So you was a real writer. Hold on, because I don't know if I would be down to just break down with my man. Okay, so that's great.
I mean, the car would overeat. When she came to my apartment, I had no bed. I was sleeping on the futon. I had no furniture. I didn't have a dining table. I had like
it was a desk.
He
didn't even have like. Table, you know? So where do you eat? I eat at the desk.
That's what you asked.
But there was no Instagram at the time. Yeah. So she didn't know about the city girl thing. I'm glad, you know. Otherwise, I would have still no chance. But you know what? One that's so amazing about our story too. When you know, wanting to get married, I didn't have nothing. But I just said that I was going to be something. I had a dream. I had to go. I was working hard for her to come along with me. So time to get married. We set the dates and everything. So couldn't afford a wedding dress. You know what I did? See, it's good to always be resourceful. So I went to eBay. And I bought a wedding dress for $50.
That was like somebody else had sold the old wedding dress?
Yeah, so I sold a wedding dress on eBay. I bought it for $50 and I spent $25
for the dry cleaning. Before I would wear it.
That was our wedding dress.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys have a ceremony or like you guys
did
something?
We did. It turned out beautifully. Like our moms came together, had us a whole, it was really nice, especially for where we were coming from. Yeah. But the thing that for me that sold me on him wasn't necessarily where he was at the moment. It was the fact that he was able to literally pitch me on it was a pitch because we in this tech space, right? So he pitched me on where he was going, what he was doing. So I saw the hard work, I saw the tenacity. I could ask my mom, like, how was he when you saw, oh yeah, he's a hard worker, he this, that, and the other. Yeah. So it was like, he had the mechanics for where he was going. So it wasn't like a pipe dream. It was literally like a pitch for where we were going. And I could see myself in that vision that he had. And like, he put me there, like, I'm going to retire you. I'm going to make you a millionaire. Yeah. I can see that for myself.
Now that's a dream I might want to
we can adhere to. And this is like 19 years ago.
Right. Yeah. So how old were y'all at this point? Because a lot of people are like, okay, you saying you was broke, but you were in your early 20s. A lot of people are broke in their early 20s. So I feel like it's also like,
even now? Because I see a lot of 20s and they're just like killing it on YouTube.
A few, maybe 1%.
Okay.
But it's a lot of people who are still broke in their 20s. And
that's true.
A lot of people watching this show right now are in their 20s and they're not in the best predicament and they're looking for skills and they're looking for resources and ways to develop themselves. I feel like right now Instagram has the culture like you have to make it by this age or you have to do something. Exactly. I'm 28. And I look at myself sometimes, I look around, there ain't too many 28-year-olds doing what you're doing, but I'm comparing myself constantly to other forces. And I feel like it's very important to know your truth and know where you're at in your moment because you don't have to be in your early 20s having everything. Absolutely. There's people, you get what I'm saying now? 15 years later, 19 years later, millionaires. Like it is not, I don't feel like it's always about where you start, but like you said, what's the vision and the strategy to get where you want to go?
Absolutely.
Know? So I think that's really awesome. I think it's also commendable because we do live in a culture, like you said, the city girls, you know. So I'd love to ask you, like, what challenges came with being down for somebody who's going through a time? Like, were you the motivator? Were you the supporter there to pick somebody up at times and just give that encouraging word? You know what I mean? Because it gets hard when you don't have the resources and not only have to focus on building that, but then fulfilling the promise to you. So like, what was that like for you?
It was, that was a great question. Yeah. But it was tough. It was tough because, so at the time I had my bachelor's degree, but he had just his associate. Did you have, when we got married? No, you didn't even have your associates at the time.
Out of medical school.
Yeah, so basically he was a dropout. Now this is like African culture. This is a big taboo. This is a no. Especially since I had my degree. Yes. So I had my degree, and you're marrying a dropout. My dear, no, you're making it wrong. So it was like having to encourage myself and stay focused on the vision, because I felt like the vision was more real than the reality of our situation. And there was a time where I was paying the bills. I was working and I was paying the bills while he was over here, making stuff happen in the background. And I would always say to myself, this is not always. It's not always. It's not forever. Like, I married this man for forever. So give him 20 years, 25 years, I'm going to be okay. And that's literally what happened. And so it was like, even when he wasn't making it, I never made him feel less than. I never was like, I pay the bills in this house. I'm not going to talk to my man like that, because I know if I talk to the king is going to come out. If I talk to the poor guy, then the poor guy is going to be, that's it. That's all I'm going to deal with.
What you pour into somebody is what they're able to kind of like display. So,
absolutely.
This is good. Can I just say something to the fellas out there? If your woman will pay the bills while you out there trying to figure out this entrepreneurship thing, you need to marry her.
Amen.
Okay, so let me ask you this. This is also a taboo. And I know we don't talk about relationships, like we're going to get into the business aspect, but I do think a lot of men always say a man will not be able to show up for his woman until he's fully where he needs to be. Do you feel that way? Or you feel like it was the opposite, having your woman really boosted that? You get what I mean?
Yeah, there's a scripture in the Bible that says a man who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God. I would not be where I am today without her, right? So imagine when we first started, I had nothing. So somebody got to pay the bills so that I can figure out this entrepreneurship thing. So she got me down. So imagine if I didn't have her to pay the bills, I'll be homeless. I won't be able to get to where I am today.
It's a different kind of struggle.
So, different kind of struggle, So you don't have to wait, I think the key is really finding somebody that aligns with your goals, your values, your vision, and for the both of you to build together. And that's what's missing to this culture, where everybody just want everybody ready-made, complete, right? Then really, what can you bring in, right? I still believe in the traditional role that a woman is a helpmate. A man should have a vision, working on something. It doesn't have to be multi-millionaire. You still have to provide in some way, and the woman comes in and together to become one, and there's this big explosion, right? So something is wrong with the way
current view on how
it's hard out there when it comes to relationships. I hear from men, hear from women. It's crazy out there. Everybody's selfish. I want you to come complete, and what can you do for me? Nobody's like, okay, who can I add value to? Who should I align my life, my vision, my purpose with, right? So something's missing, and I hope it comes back.
And I feel like the way we thought about it was like, if you win, I win. If I win, you win.
So we're a team. It's not necessarily an I.
There's no I in it. There's no I in team. So even when it got to fast forward with all the different businesses that we did to get to Vonza, it was always like, okay, this is a vision that you have. I can see it. And it made sense to us because, we're entrepreneurs, and we were literally having all these different platforms just to run a business online. It made no sense. Like, we were so frustrated, especially when he had, I think he had like a master class or something that came up, and the tech stopped talking to each other. And he was like, okay, what is going on right now? And it's already stressful to do a launch. So the tech wasn't talking. So he was like, why are we even doing this? Like, why do you need all these different platforms to do one online business? It should be on one platform.
And that was it.
That's how we started.
And then I was like, why don't we build it? So then he was like, we're going to build it.
So
that
talk about the strategy, right? So at one point, so you say y'all was hustling. So y'all never really had the vision of Vonza, but you had multiple iterations of different things you were trying until you got here. Talk to me a little bit more about one, the strategy and like knowing it was the one, because a lot of times we like keep trying things, but what do you feel like set Vonza apart from all the other iterations of like the softwares that you
Let me hear your take. And I'm gonna give you my take.
Yeah. So for me though, every business I've started, I've always been because of a personal pain. Or frustration that I've had.
Okay.
So I've never been that person that go on Google or listen to some guru to tell them what kind of business to start.
Right.
So I just look at my own life. What pain, what frustration, what issue am I having? And is this something that the market is big enough that I can, and that I'm also passionate about, that I can serve for myself and potentially for millions or billions of people. Right. And so that's always been a yardstick for all my businesses, all of our businesses, including Vonza.
Okay.
So we started Vonza because I was running a masterclass and all these plugins, everything broke, and I was frustrated. It was a very, very shameful and painful experience. And I felt like, why do we need multiple tools to run one business? Right. Why can't we just have an all-in-one platform that gives us all the tools we need to successfully run this business and serve our customers in one dashboard, one login, one place, instead of all over the place.
Right, yeah.
So that's how we started Vonza. And I knew too that I was not the only one that had that pain of having to pay. It's not just only these tech frustrations too. Think about paying for 10
the
different
subscriptions
tools,
on so many different things.
Thousands of dollars a month, right? And sometimes you have to hire a team. You're just starting out many times. You don't have money to hire a team. So you're wasting time, wasting money, also dealing with tech frustration. So that did not make any sense to us.
Right.
So we decided like, okay, we know there were millions of entrepreneurs and creators and coaches and consultants that will need a all-in-one platform, simple to use with all the tools. So that's how and why we started Vonza.
Awesome. So what I heard, especially because I'm in tech sales, so when I'm selling software, I'm selling a solution, right? And that's very important because a lot of things are siloed in businesses, organizations, and when you have to operationalize them, it's very difficult if I have 4 third-party vendors that have different things coming on. I have no central system of understanding how this is analytically working across different platforms. I have no way to measure the success in a solution-based thing. And I think one thing being a tech seller myself is when I sell solutions, I'm helping my customers and businesses understand this is a solution and it's not a niche product. Because niche products are great for specific things, but like I said, when you're looking to scale or operationalize or add value to a business, it's very hard to drive metrics and analytics when you're siloed by softwares. So I love that you guys have been able to figure out a way to compact a solution, not necessarily a SaaS product to someone. It's a solution that's able to solve many different challenges.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
and that's, for an entrepreneur, especially when you're in that pocket of, wanting to grow and scale, even if you're just beginning, as you can make as simple as it can be. That's what you're really looking for. You don't want too much frustration because you're already having to deal with so much. So having something that everything is just in one place and everything you need is just as you grow, it's right there. That tool, I need that. Oh, perfect. And you just can start implementing it and just see your whole business just scale up tremendously. Like that, it just makes sense. And it's so just a stress reliever.
No, for sure. So talk about scaling your business because you guys are valuated at 30 million now, which is amazing for not being funded, right? So let's talk about let's get into the funding because as we mentioned in the beginning of the episode, people are not getting funding, especially African Americans. Exactly. So what do you feel like separated Vonza to be able to get to this valuation without that type of backing?
That's a very good question. So what have really, really helped us is that one of the things that's also interesting in technology too is that there's a different type of tech racism going on.
Really?
If you look at...
So what do you, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you say tech racism, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, because I also have friends too that own, software, If you're a black tech founder and your photo, your face is on the website or whatever, you know, many times, you know, you're not going to get other cautious or Caucasian people that want to just use, it's like there's just not that comfort level for them or whatever, you know. So there's that kind of bias, so to speak. Maybe that's a better way to put it, you know, tech bias. So there's only few people that have done it successfully, but if you look at their About Us page, you're going to see that they're probably the only black face there. They are surrounded by white people, white older people too, you know, just to kind of build that trust in the ecosystem. So that's kind of stuff we've experienced as well. But I felt like my story was powerful, and that, you know, we need black-owned biz tech companies too. And I'm just going to be the face of Vonza. And so far we have a good mix, but we still have a lot of African Americans who use us, who trust us, and have helped us to grow as well. So one thing that really helped us to kind of stand out from these VC people is just really telling the story. You know, especially my
people are resonating with the story more than
and the solution too that we also provide as well. Because, you know, Vonza is also kind of like, you know, Uber versus taxi, right? Because when there was taxi, people were complaining that taxis were bad, they were late, they were smelling, their drivers were rude, but people didn't know about anything better. So we just complained, but just dealt with it. So when Uber came, and everybody's like, oh my God, Uber is better, it's faster, the drivers are more pleasant. So now everybody's like, okay, we need to switch to Uber because it's better than taxi. So Vonza is kind of like the Uber. So the taxi system was the old way of doing a business online, because that's what everybody know, which is subscribe to this, subscribe to that, subscribe to your email, your funnels, all these different tools. So Vonza is like that Uber that is like, okay, there's a better way to do online business, right? Which is all your tools in one place, instead of that frustration and wasting time and money trying to do multiple things doing one business with multiple tools.
Awesome. So how were you able to go to market, right? Because building the software is one part of it, but actually going to market and being able to now get users to actually purchase into the product. Talk to me a little bit more about your go-to-market strategy around the solution, because I feel like for other people who may have startups or have an idea that they're trying to bring to life, what is the strategy to actually bring this to market, especially as a seller? I would love to know. How you guys
so
went to
for
market.
us, I feel like what helped us was we had already had a type of community because of the history of entrepreneurship and the things that we were doing, and also just ministry. So when people just knew us for being solution bringer. Like that's what we do. We bear solutions. You got a problem? We got a solution. Is this your problem? Here's a solution. So when we now said, here's Vonza, this is the solution. We're in a knowledge era. It's time for you to take your knowledge and put it online. It was like, I already trust them. I already like them. I already trust them. I already know them. Why not give it a shot? So I think that really helped us out in the beginning. And then as we, they kept using, we started scaling, then it started causing us to have to step out of that community and build even more and reach out and network and go to like SaaStar. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No, I'm not sure. Tell us
it's
what
just
that is.
It's
huge.
a network, one of the largest network and conference for SaaS entrepreneurs, founders and stuff. So that have helped a lot. Also, podcasts have helped a lot.
Yes.
Word of mouth, also building a good product too helps a lot too.
Yes, absolutely.
That's usually the best way to really grow a business. Because when you have a good product that solves a real problem and provide a real solution, people will talk about it, and that will help your business to grow as well.
Absolutely.
So you have 15,000 customers now.
Yes.
Right. So how do you go from telling the story, people trusting you and resonating you? And I love that trust is a major foundation if you don't know in software, anything software. Like it takes a lot of trust to have people buy into your software, because they're now dependent and reliant on your software providing them some type of experience, right? So how do you gain the trust of 15,000 customers?
So it's the same thing. We started first with our community that liked us, knew us, trusted us. Then from there, we did some paid campaigns as well, the Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads. But what have really worked for us, that really helped us to get sometimes thousands of customers at a time, was really partnering with other communities that have a lot of people. So for example, I was just in a Black Enterprise Conference.
Yes.
Imagine if we're able to network with them and they make our software available, or at least, you know, make it known to their audience, you know. So we've done some partnerships with some organizations and different things that have helped us to, like, you know, scale that. The word of mouth too have also helped us as well.
And also running just like online conferences.
Yes.
And having influencers come speak, people who use the platform, and just allowing people to see multiple uses of the platform. Because sometimes we get stuck like, well, I don't do that, so it's not for me.
Right.
It is for you. And then we have someone that says, okay, this is what I do. So then they're like, oh, okay, well, let me just give it a shot. So looking for other ways, I would say, especially to your audience, looking for other ways to reach people who maybe you personally don't resonate with them, but the software is something they need too. It's a problem in their community as well, or their, you know, industry that they serve. And so being able to reach those facets and those people really has helped for people to come to know who we are. And then of course, time helps, because now if they're seeing our face, they're hearing his accent, you know, they're like, okay, I've seen him before. I know that accent. I've seen that logo before. And so just building that brand awareness and that trust makes all the difference in the world.
Awesome. So who is the perfect end user for somebody for Vonza? Like, right, I would love for, if there's people watching that may be interested in utilizing Vonza, to be able to do that. So when you think of your ideal, like, prototype of a customer, or people who have really bought into this experience, what does that look like?
So really, anybody with a knowledge or expertise that they want to sell online, right? Whether you know how to cook, you know how to dance, you know how to do nails, you know how to do tech, whatever knowledge you have that will be valuable to somebody that you can put into some form of online course or coaching program, Vonza is perfect for you. But if I want to go more niche now, I would say our typical customers are coaches, consultants, course creators, entrepreneurs, photographers, and anybody in between, because we are in the knowledge economy, the creators economy, right? Whereby people are taking what they know and teaching the next person and getting paid doing that. But there was no easy to use software that makes it easy for them to do that. So Vonza now came in and just made it so simple and integrates all the tools they would need to sell their knowledge online. And so Vonza just helps them to do that.
Awesome. And do they accept payments and everything? So from front to end, basically, you will be able to run on this
payments,
platform.
Delivery, marketing, the whole 9 yards.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely going to leave the details below. So if you are interested, if you are a content creator or somebody who's an influencer in the space who's looking to really have a platform that's an all-in-one solution to be able to, like, run your business or educate your following, so that you have access to this as well. But I always like to end my episodes like this. So if there was advice that you could give to somebody who maybe is in a position right now that is looking to build a software company and is struggling to find funding, what advice would you give to them?
Okay.
You're like,
oh, this is the one. I was like, I hit it on the head with the last question. But no, because there's tons of people who have these ideas. So I'd love to know what advice you guys would give from your journey.
I would say software is very expensive.
It is.
We've put in over $1 million of mostly our own money into it. So it's very, very expensive. If you don't have money and you don't have a way of getting money, I don't know.
Might not be the game to
play.
At least on the front end.
But what will also help too is to build a product people want. And charge them from day one. So then you can use some of those customers' money and reinvest it back into the business. So it's really that simple. Build something people want, release the MVP, minimum viable product. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Just ship it as fast as you can, and then start charging from day one and start investing that money back into the business. That's the simple way you can do it.
Awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
And when you think of being able to allocate the team to build the software for you, how were you able to, I know I said that was the last question, but this is the last one, but because I just thought about when you said that. So like, if you're at ground zero, how do you actually go find the engineers or go find the people to actually now put the development into the product?
Good question. So we had to go overseas because we bootstrapped.
Oh wow!
Right?
Okay.
You already know in tech, a good software engineer can be $300,000 a year for one of them. So we had to go overseas. So we built our team. First, I hired my first CTO from Pakistan. So we built our team around Pakistan, India, Belgium, and right now our team is distributed. About 25 people roughly that work for Vonza in maybe 6 or 7 countries, at least 4 continents. We have to go overseas. So, but we do some of our critical part of the business here in the US, in Alpharetta, in Atlanta, right here. But the tech part of it is overseas because it's just cheaper. Yeah. It's so.
But getting the best overseas is really important, and also sharing that vision and aligning yourself with people who understand the vision and have similar values to that is really important. Like for me, psychology is everything, even in business. And if you can understand that people are wired a certain way, some people are 100% motivated by money. Cool, get the bag. But there's other people who are like, I want the bag, but I also want to
value.
Yes, I want to add value. I want to make an impact. When I go, I want people to still be talking about what I did. So finding those kind of people who can initially understand that you're working on a budget, but the vision is so big that it can include it grow. So now you're tapping into a psychological aspect of a human being, and then you guys are working together. That synergy just starts bringing other people on board, and it starts to blossom into something really, really beautiful. But that buy-in has to be there from the founder, from the visionary first.
Awesome. I love that. I love the story that you guys are telling and how you have been able to build such an amazing software. Congrats on 15,000 customers. I know it's only going to be up from here. That's going. And congrats as well on a $30 million valuation, because that is just phenomenal to see. Not being able to get funding, starting from very humble beginnings. I'm very, very happy for you all, and I'm so happy that you came through and dropped these gems for my audience, because I think it will really resonate with our tech community. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome.